Hello, ladies, gents, and everybody in between. This is your pal Wolfie, and I decided I wanted to do a little bit of a discussion. So, the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4 just dropped this morning, and I have mixed feelings. So, I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan, but I am a specific type of Kingdom Hearts fan. So, most people might know, Kingdom Hearts has been going on for forever now. We're celebrating its 20th anniversary. And a lot of the time you'll have people who are devout fans to the series. They will own everything, play everything, love everything about it. Yeah. So I'm in the camp where I love, absolutely adore the very first Kingdom Hearts game. I have been playing Kingdom Hearts since the very first game. That, and I mean the one that dropped on PS2 back in 2002 when I was 12 years old. And when I tell you that to this day, playing through that game, it it hits an emotional beat for me that I simply just cannot put into words. And it's one of my favorite games of all time. It's literally in my top 5 favorite games of all time. And a game that I have repeatedly played for years. And I actually started replaying it again within the last couple months. So when I tell you that my love for that very first game knows no bounds, it truly does not. It is, for me, the most perfect game of the franchise. And I know that I'm probably in a different camp when it comes to that. So, where I love the first game without bounds, I am not that much of a fan of the rest of the series. And I want to see if I can explain as to why. So, where I'm excited to see that, yes, I'm happy that there's another game coming. I'm always happy there's another game coming because I'm going to play them all. I don't know, I can't tell you why. I am an absolute slave to this series. I'm going to play them every time one comes out. It's literally the same way I am when it comes to the Final Fantasy games. Every time one comes out, I'm going to play it. Even if I end up not liking it as much as the one before or etc., I'll play them all. That's literally just, I think it's just at this point with Square, the hold that Square Enix has on me. But with Kingdom Hearts in specific, I am huge when it comes to narrative. So narrative is for me, the most important thing in any video game. I know that a lot of people like to put gameplay over story. That's not me. That is most definitely not me. For me, if the story isn't good, if the story is what drives me to play the game. If I am not into the story, if I'm not invested in the characters, then I am not going to feel obligated to either finish or even like the game. I don't care how much fun I've had with it gameplay wise. I don't care if it's the most dynamic, epic gameplay that's ever been created. If the story ain't good, I'm not messing with it. And that has put me in this specific camp that I'm in when it comes to Kingdom Hearts. So for me, I absolutely adore the first game's story. Like to me, it's still timeless. It still holds an incredible place in my heart. And I loved it for the fact that it was simple. It wasn't all that hard to follow at all. Like darkness is trying to overtake. You have to fight the darkness. You have to find your friends. You have to save the world. It's pretty simple. It's a simple concept. And in in that the characters are all endearing. They're all, I mean, if you grew up, I'm also a Disney fan. If you grew up a fan of Disney, then then you loved it. If you grew up a fan of Disney and Final Fantasy, this was the love child that you needed. That's why it was my love child at the time. But where a lot of people take issue with like the gameplay aspects of the first game, I didn't. I still love the gameplay for the game to this day. So For me, once Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, that's where my dislike for the series came. So I know a lot of people hail the second game as the best game in the series and it's their favorite, blah blah blah. I hate the second game. I hate the second game because for me, that's when it ruined the franchise for me. So where I understand that a lot of people love the games because they love the gameplay, they love all the characters, they love the music, blah blah. I agree. All that stuff is great. The gameplay gets better every time. The music gets better every time. The characters are all endearing no matter what no matter what the situation that is going on is happening. Like you can't help but love the characters. Um the designs are perfection. The graphics always look top notch. Like look at the freaking visuals for what they've got going on with Kingdom Hearts 4. It looks incredible. I couldn't tell you a bad word about it. It looks absolutely incredible. I can't wait to play it. That's for damn sure. But the story, the story in lies my issue. So in every single game that followed the first, there's just so much recapping and recapping and recapping and rehashing and all of a sudden this is this and that is this. This is who. Like it's just when the nobody situation came is when the issue with the franchise was born for me. I'm not speaking in objective terms. This is all subjective. For me, once they introduced nobodies, Roxas, in all them characters, that's when they lost me. That's when the story became ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous and convoluted. And I like convoluted is not even doesn't even begin. It's the word, but it doesn't begin to really sum up how absurd the absolute overall story to the franchise is. And that for me is why every time a new game comes out, no matter how much I enjoy my time playing it, I don't enjoy the game. So there hasn't been so far since Kingdom Hearts 1. Kingdom Hearts 1 was the only game for me that I gave a 10 out of 10 for me. 10 out of 10. After that, I have never seen any of the games be more than a 7 for me. So, and I don't and I can tell I can already tell that the story is not going to it's not going to be any better. It's still going to be continue to be absolutely convoluted. Anybody who played through Kingdom Hearts 3 and like got the secret ending, all that stuff, played the DLC, you already knew Kingdom Hearts 4 was coming. We already knew that Kingdom Hearts 3 wasn't going to be the last one. And definitely not the last one for Sora and company. So this wasn't so much a surprise as it was like, hey, now we finally get like a real first look at it. And I want to be excited. I do. I want to be excited. Where I am looking forward to those things that a lot of people do love about the games. I am looking forward to the improvements in gameplay. I'm looking forward to the worlds that we'll see. I'm looking forward to the characters that we'll meet. And I'm looking forward to the music, especially. Oh, God, I love the music in these games. But then I think about that story and I'm just like, here we go again. And again, this is me speaking solely for me. I am not speaking for anybody else but myself. If people agree, then I'm happy to know I'm not the only one. But if you disagree, that's you. I'm happy you love it for whatever it is. But for me, Kingdom Hearts will never capture the glory and the love that it had since the very first game. But I don't know. This was just me sharing some thoughts. It probably amounts to nothing, but check out I've had the trailer rolling here and go ahead and check out my channel. I put the full thing up there. And I guess we'll just see where this goes. Until the next time.